Hey, I'm Jeff and welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to show you everything that you need to know when propagating a hoya in water. Everything from taking the cutting all the way to potting it up in a container of soil. Plus, near the end of the video, I'm going to show a crucial tip when transitioning the water cuttings into soil. So let's check it out. So obviously in front of me I have a few different types already rooting in water. This is the Hoya australis lisa. This cutting came from a plant that had mealybugs. It was just really overgrown, so I took a few cuttings to kind of restart it. This is the Hoya polyneura. It was part of a large plant. I took a number of cuttings, but all the leaves just started to get kind of bleached or just kind of turning yellow. So I don't know if it was receiving too much light or if it actually had a pest issue. And then this is the Parasitica splash, I believe. And I just wanted to take some extra cuttings. I'm going to use this one as an example plant. This one's hanging in my south-facing window. Now obviously some Hoyas like more light than others. This one I believe is the Rebecca. You can see beautiful sun-stressed leaves on this one. And it always puts out multiple flowers as well. You can see there's different peduncles just all over the plant. So this one flowers frequently, and I'll be using this one as an example plant of where to take a cut along the stem. So you can see right here, each node will have, or should have, 2 leaves. This one has 1, probably got knocked off. This one has none, and there's 2 leaves. So what I like to do is cut not right in between the nodes, but closest to the last leaf. So here's the section of stem. I'm going to cut close to the last leaf on the stem like that. Sometimes you'll get this little kind of white milky substance. You can just wipe that away and let it drip. Now the reason why I left so much stem on the end of this one right here is because this is where all the roots are going to grow. Now you can simply place this in a container of water, but if you want multiple plants from this one section, so I'm going to leave this one intact, but this little node right here doesn't have any leaves. But if you want to take individual node cuttings, you do the same process. So all you do is cut close to the tip or the top of the leaf, something like that, and then you can place this in a container of water. And here's some examples of some single node cuttings on a larger cutting. So you can see there's some roots kind of popping through like that. One, I guess, helpful tip is when you have a Hoya that is woody like this, you can see it's got a wood-looking stem. These typically, in my experience, take longer to root as well as to grow. When you place them in soil and you're expecting new growth, it might take upwards of like a year before you start to see any new growth. But if you have a plant like this polyneura, you can see the stem is green. These ones root fairly quick, and they're actually very quick growers as well. So I'll explain a little bit more about that when I pot these up. But I guess it's just something to be cautious of when you're taking cuttings and what to expect. These woody ones, these woody stems can take a little bit longer to grow. Now after you take the cuttings, I don't let them callus over. I don't add any rooting hormone. I don't add any fertilizer or nutrients or anything to the water. This is just straight tap water and just a glass jar, and you can just dunk them in. Just put them right in the water and let them grow roots. There's nothing special that I do for them other than just give them a bright area. Obviously no direct sunlight, but just enough light so that they can photosynthesize and develop roots. In regards to water, once the water level drops, then I'll just top up with some fresh oxygenated water. Otherwise, I don't really do anything with them, and they just grow roots on their own. Now with these stem cuttings, I just plunk them in water, but I can further cut them up if I wanted to. So here's another section. This is where I've made another previous cut, but I can do the same thing. Just cut something like that. Now I have 2 separate cuttings. This one can go right in some soil. This one I can put back in water just because it doesn't have any roots. I don't even worry about removing leaves like on the lower portion of the stem. Like you can if you want, but you can see these ones have been submerged in water. If they rot, they'll just fall off. You can remove it from the water, clean out the container, but I just leave them on as well and just dunk them in water like that, and it'll grow roots. Now after you're done taking your single node cuttings or stem cuttings, obviously just let it sit in water, making sure to top up the water as it drops a little bit, but over the course of a few weeks, you just let them root, and then once the roots are about an inch or two in length, then they are ready to be potted up in some soil. Now this is where it gets a little tricky because rooting in water is the easy part. When you go from water propagation into soil, sometimes the transition itself can be pretty harsh on the plant and you can actually lose quite a bit of the cuttings. So this is probably one of the most important pieces of information through the entire process, is to not let these water roots dry out. You can see how thin and fibrous they are. Even keeping it out of water for a few minutes for the repotting process can dry these roots out. So I always keep them in water until I'm absolutely ready to place them in a pot. So that comes to the next thing, is pot selection. Do not choose a terracotta pot because terracotta is very porous, it absorbs soil moisture, and it will dry out super quick. Now I would only recommend a plastic nursery pot, but what I'm going to use are these plastic cups. What I like to do is cut little slits in the bottom of the cup so that I can place it inside of another cup just as kind of like a cache pot. Same thing with the nursery pot. So place the cuttings in a pot that has drain holes, and you can use a cache pot like that just to, for a decorative look, but also to keep in some of that moisture. You do not want the soil to dry out within probably the first 2 to 3 weeks, because obviously these roots have been nice and cozy in water. You throw them in dry soil, they're going to shrivel up and you're going to lose your cuttings very quick. So that is the most important thing through the entire process, is to not let the soil dry out over the course of the first 2 weeks. You can even kind of pre-soak your soil, again, just so it's not absolutely bone dry. As soon as those juicy little water roots touch the dry soil, they're going to soak up that moisture very quickly. So I'm just going to kind of pre-soak the soil. Doesn't have to be anything crazy because I'm going to water it again afterwards. Something like that. I'm just using a nice chunky aeroid mix. You want to make sure that it's well draining, but will hold moisture long enough. You obviously want moisture retention, but you also want the roots to breathe. So I'm going to take all the cuttings out, all the Hoya polynera, and I'm just going to stick it in the container like that. I'm just going to pull them all out here for now. And I got to do this, like I said, fairly quickly, just because, oh, I just broke off a new little growth point right here. So I'm just going to chop these leaves off because when they go in soil, they're definitely going to rot. And I'm just going to pluck that one off like that. Snip it off. So got some nice roots on there. Going to stick it in like that. I got one way in the bottom of the jar. Again, this is a single node. I'm going to put this just off to the side like that. So all I'm doing is just arranging them into the cup, and over time they will push out new growth, which I'll show you as a couple examples. With these larger cuttings like this, I like to put the plant in the pot here first and then simply add soil around it, just because if you add the soil first and then you make like a little divot in the soil, you're probably going to break a lot of those very thin roots. So I'm just going to dump soil in like that, making sure all those roots are down into the soil. You can also hold it like a little bouquet of flowers and then just dump the soil in, and it doesn't have to be packed down or anything like that. I might bring them up a little bit as we go and space them out as needed. You can always adjust them later as well. Now I know everyone probably has their own different methods and what works for them, so this is simply what works for me or what I've done in the past. So just place the cuttings something like that, nice and evenly spaced out. And the reason why I'm choosing this clear cup today is so I can keep an eye on the root development. There's another cutting right here, which it's a smaller section of stem, got beautiful roots on it, and I'm going to place it maybe somewhere. It's going to be a full pot, that's for sure. Maybe right there, I'll just dump it in. Over time, the plant will start to push out some new growth points, and then we can change the pots or the pot size if needed. So I'm just going to bring this one over a little bit, something like that. Add a little bit more soil down here, and it's actually got a new little growth point already, right there. I'm gonna actually take it over to my shower there, clean off the leaves, soak the soil here, and again, you don't want the soil to dry out over the next couple weeks. So how you, I guess, determine whether or not to water is obviously in the clear cup. It's quite obvious if the soil is starting to dry out. Now, obviously, don't have the plant sitting in water because it's probably going to rot that way as well. It just can't breathe. It can't get any airflow to the roots. So over the next maybe couple days, I'm going to keep an eye on the soil. I'll give it kind of like a little watering until it comes out the bottom. So how I typically do it is probably after like day 3. So in 3 days, I will give it a little bit of water, let it come out the bottom of the drain hole here, put it back in its container, and maybe leave it for like another 3 to 5 days, just making sure the soil isn't dry. If you're noticing it to start to get a little dry on top, then you can give it a little bit of water as well. And then over the course of like 2 to 3 weeks, just continuously lengthen the watering periods until you can get it to a point where you can get the soil completely dry, which Hoyas do prefer to dry out pretty much 100% before giving it water again. You can pay attention to the leaves if they're starting to look a little bit wrinkly, or sometimes you can feel by the thickness of the leaf. This one, it's pretty, I don't want to say thick, but definitely when a Hoya needs to be watered, the leaf, some of them will feel quite a bit thinner. Like on that Rebecca, it's got some pretty thick leaves, and once it's been dry for a while, you can definitely feel the firmness or the thickness of the leaf get a little bit spongier or soft, if that makes sense. So I just washed it off, and now I'm going to let all that water drip out until there's no more dripping. Like that. So the leaves are looking nice and healthy, nice and clean, and then I'll simply just put it inside the cache pot or the insert of the cup like that. Now, what can you expect over the next few weeks or months? Probably not a lot, because the plant is going to be focusing all its energy on root development in order to sustain new growth. Now, depending on, again, which variety you have, whether it's a green stem, these ones are a little bit more of a vigorous grower. You will probably see new growth fairly quick, maybe within the next month or two, if you have like a Hoya polyneura or the Australis lisa. But if you have one like the Parasitica heartleaf or the splash one, whatever it's called, any sort of woody stemmed Hoya, you probably won't see any new growth for a number of months and upwards up to like a year. They're very slow growing in general. Now, what you will see is new growth from the node where you've made the cut. So this Australis lisa, this is where I've previously made a cut, and you can see a little growth point with a tiny little leaf popping out from the node like that. So this is an entirely new stem. It's going to continue to push out new growth, new nodes, and eventually new leaves. So that's how you can get an entirely new plant from a single node cutting. This little piece right here is a peduncle. That is where the flowers develop from. So you can see it's flowered a number of times. It almost gets like little rings. So it looks like this one's flowered probably at least 5 or 6 separate occasions. So this is a peduncle. This is a new growth point. So that is the, I guess, anatomy of a single leaf or leaf node. Node, leaves, peduncle, and new growth point. Sometimes you will get multiple growth points from a single node, but generally it's just one per node like that. So yeah, that's kind of what to expect over the next few weeks and months. I think I've pretty much covered everything in regards to taking the cutting, propagating it in water, what to do when it's in water, and then what to expect when after you place it in soil. So I think that's going to be pretty much it for this video. If you have any comments or questions, please leave it down below in the comment section. Always appreciate the support. Thanks for watching all my videos. Take care, everyone. Bye.